What's going on with you? How you doing? I'm hoping you're doing all right. Hope you had a great weekend and back to the fun and games right here on Monday. Yes, indeed. A lot to talk about. We got to get it in. We will. But I was doing some research for the last couple of days. I gotta say, what's up to my boy? We went to Fleming's. I can't tell y'all who. I went to Fleming's with him and his partner last week. Got a lot of information. Boy, I got a lot of information. Ooh, we got a lot of information. But y'all, there's so many different games that are being played around here. And did y'all see that latest report too? I got to talk about your police chief as well. There's a report that came out, and I just happen to have a copy of it, even though that it was in another part of the world. And it made me ask the question, and she's going to think I'm picking with her, but I'm not. But I have questions. I have questions. And I should ask those questions for you. What? Yes, I should. Yes, I should.
No.
Yes. Absolutely. I should ask the questions for you, especially the one that sits there and does the bobblehead better than anybody I know. So, yes, I should ask those questions. Because there's a report that came out from KXLY.com. Everybody's like, what? Yeah. There's a question and an article that came out. And I think it was, just in a timely manner that made me go, oh, now I know why you won't stay here. Oh. Y'all want me to do that again? I'm going to do it again. Oh. Mm-hmm. So I just looked around and said to myself, you got to bring these things up and talk about them because not everybody gonna know. Y'all ain't gonna know. And if I don't tell it, you would never know. So let's start reading. This came from KXLY.com from Spokane, Washington. Everybody like, what do we have to do with Spokane, Washington? Well, it's not what you have to do with Spokane, Washington, but it has to do with everybody else knowing who came from Spokane, Washington. Why? Because the name of the article is 4 years later, Spokane finally settles wrongful termination lawsuit. Y'all know about this? So the city of Spokane and its insurance company are handing a $1.7 million check over to a police officer who was wrongfully terminated. The wrongfully terminated lawsuit he won 4 years ago. In November 2011, a Spokane jury found then Spokane Chief Police. Hear me out on this now. November 2011, a Spokane jury found then Spokane Police Chief Ann Kirkpatrick had illegally fired the officer, Detective Jay Mehring, and then retaliated against him even after the veteran cop was cleared of any wrongdoing. The city has spent the last 4 years trying to overturn the jury's verdict, but has now withdrawn its appeal and on Tuesday cut its final six-figure check to satisfy the judgment. The case started back in March 2007 when Maring was going through a messy divorce. A pair of police officers heard Maring threaten to destroy his wife, Lisa, and burn down their home and told their superiors. Maring was arrested while on duty, but was on unpaid leave for 18 months while he waited for his felony harassment trial to get underway. But then the prosecution's case fell apart when Lisa Maring told the jury that she did not take those threats literally and did not support the decision to charge him. Officers cheered Maring's not guilty verdict and demanded the chief return his badge. Well, I want to see him immediately reinstated per civil service rules and paid all his back pay wages and everything that he's not coming to him that he missed over the last 18 months, Detective Ernie Wuthridge said at the time of the verdict. Kirkpatrick did rehire Maring, but according to the officer's attorneys, the chief continued to make his life miserable, and the jury agreed. Hmm. Kind of sounds a lot like what we going through right now with this person that supposedly got a lady that's in one of the sexual issues. In that what is that? The sexual whatchamacallit? In that department? That's making the husband making his life miserable by blaming him for somebody else's case and letting those police officers over there run amok. What?
I'm just listening.
Is this deja vu?
Sounds like it.
Wasn't that a song? Deja vu.
Yeah.
Who sung that? Is that what's the lady name?
I'm gonna look it up, but I know what you're
That was
talking.
Whitney Houston's on. What's the name?
Yeah. Hold on.
Deja vu. Could this be the things that I saw you? I made them words up.
I know what you're talking about, though.
Deja vu. But anyway, the city has spent the last 4 years trying to overturn the jury's verdict, but now withdrawn its appeal, and on Tuesday cut its final six-figure check to satisfy the judgment. The case started back in March 2007 when Maring was going through a messy divorce. The pair of officers heard Maring threaten to destroy his wife, Lisa, and burn down their home and told the superiors.
That's Dionne Warwick, brother.
Dionne Warwick.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Maring was arrested while on duty, was put on unpaid leave for 18 months while he waited for his felony harassment trial to get underway. But when the prosecution's case fell apart after Lisa Maring told the jury that she did not take those threats literally and did not support the decision to charge him. Officers cheered Maring's not guilty verdict and demanded the chief return his badge. In quotes here, it says, "I want to see him immediately reinstated per civil service rules and pay all his back pay, wages, and everything that was he's got coming to him that he missed over the last 18 months. That came from Detective Ernie Wuthridge, who said that at the time of the verdict. Kirkpatrick did rehire Merring, but according to the officer's attorneys, the chief continued to make his life miserable, and the jury agreed. She refused to give him back the position that he had prior to her actions before. She refused to recognize that he was not guilty of the charges brought against him, and she refused to recognize that he had a stellar employee who was deserving of the position, said attorney Susan Nelson, and the law officers of Dun and Black said. Don't that sound like the dude I was talking about? That sound like Chad.
Yep.
Oop, I'm sorry, Chad. I didn't mean to call your name. The jury awarded Merring more than $700,000, including $250,000 in punitive damage that specifically named the former chief. We're tagging you with $250,000 in damage personally. These were 12 citizens who said your conduct is not tolerable. While the jury had intended Kirkpatrick to pay that $250,000 out of her own pocket, the city council had previously voted to indemnify her against any damages. Since that time, we elected a new mayor who has hired a new chief, and we are told there's a lot more communication going on between City Hall and Spokane's police officers, and they face any time of disciplinary actions. Sounds familiar. Because I could almost swear this is the same thing that's going on now. I'm just saying. You gotta take a break? All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back with more. 504-582-9422 is the number. If anybody want to go on and take a look at that article, you can go to kxly.com and see for yourself. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
Hi, I'm Leo Jackson, host of Sunday Gospel here every Sunday morning, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. You don't want to miss this move of God. It happens only on WBOK. You listen to all day long.
Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor. We're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Every Friday at noon on WBOK.
Saints of God, it's time for us to tell you the truth. It's time for you to start your 21-day challenge. Don't take another day. Do it right now. Call 504-701-4711. That's the whole water stove, Pastor David Impartian Sr., the host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. This is the water that's designed to change your body, the way you think, the way you act, and the way you look. Why don't you start your 21-day challenge today? For $35, you can start it right now. Call me so we can set up your appointment. 504-701-4711. That's 504-701-4711. Change your water, change your mind.
New Schools for New Orleans, along with New Orleans Public Schools and the Kiowa Institute, are excited to announce the launch of a new digital tool on the data dashboard. New Orleans Public Schools, 20 years later, a timeline of recovery, transformation, and growth. The tool provides data, information, and context on the past 20 years of K-12 education in New Orleans, the changes that occurred, and the outcomes these changes helped produce. Visit nolapublicschools.com/K20 to view the tool and learn more.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you. So, over the weekend, I had the chance. Well, of course, we went to about 4 or 5 different churches. Shatik Nobles, Pastor Shatik Nobles had his anniversary, 18 years. He had been pastoring and has been pastoring for 18 years. Anybody that knows Pastor Nobles, y'all know he a young man in the first place. So congratulations to him on his anniversary. Had the opportunity to see him and his wife. And all of his folks. But I also, this weekend, had the chance to go to a lot of events. Y'all, it was hot as I don't know what this weekend. We went to all these different places. Everybody having a high school reunion?
Yeah.
Did you notice that this weekend everybody was having a high school reunion this weekend?
Either a high school reunion or, a lot of classes are doing their own thing. Like,
They're doing what?
They're doing their own thing, like their own little get-togethers.
They're high school reunion. They not just your class, but everybody. If you graduated from Rob Wayne, they had theirs 2 weeks ago.
I saw that. Yeah.
Who had theirs? They had book supply giveaways and all these different things happening this weekend. Boy, let me talk to some of the parents out here.
And I'm from the West Bank, so.
Oh, y'all have one too?
Well, I know L.W. Higgins had something. That was my school, and I know our rival John Aird had something also.
That's nice. You said your rival.
It was what it was.
You gave him some props.
What?
See, if I wanted to be messy, I'd be like, you said your rival had their get together this weekend?
Yeah.
So both of them showed up? just 2 of them graduated? So, yeah, I'm going to get them telephone calls, but I'm going to tell everybody that you said it.
Hey, it is what it is at this point, bro.
Only had 2 graduating people. Not 2 graduating classes, but 2 people. Mm-hmm.
John Aird probably had 2 people.
I ain't playing with them.
We had more than that. I'm saying, and I'm not scared.
Huh?
I'm not scared.
I am. I am. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm playing. Y'all forgive me. I'm joking. Mm-hmm. But this weekend, this weekend and last weekend, it seemed like everybody was having some type of get together. It's hard to get a class together these days. So the schools, I think, got smarter instead of just doing, because I went up to, Rob Wayne, and they had theirs out last week. I think it was last week or week before last. I think it was last week. And they had theirs out in City Park. And they had the banner and everybody was taking pictures, but it was not one class. I think the furthest that it went back, guy who was walking with us, he said he graduated in 1980. And they had come out. They got mad at me because I called them the Geritol crew. Yeah, they got mad, so I called them Geritol. Huh?
You know what? No comment.
No, they just got mad at me for a minute. Though I was just playing. But they had a lot of folks out there, man, just enjoying themselves. And I was glad to see that the school, the folks of the school, they weren't just trying to do one class. They were like, if you graduated from whatever class it was, come on. And they brought everybody together. So instead of it just being a class, it was just the school itself. So I was glad to see so many folks have fun with their school. Also this weekend, you had back to school giveaways. I need to talk to the parents because I'm out of that. I really am out of that. I got to call Suzette Bagnaris and Stacey Yates and them to talk to theirs because they had one on yesterday. All right. But for all of our mommies, aunties, mimis, all of y'all, let me talk to you. 504-582-9422. It has come to my attention that the schools are sending y'all back list telling y'all to go and get the stuff that is needed for your child in their class. Paper, pencils, crayons.
It's still like that. It was like that when I was in school. Yeah.
It's worse now.
Really?
It costs more.
Well, I've been out of school,
So
over 20 years, yeah.
you been out where? How long?
Over 20 years?
Yeah, you still young.
41.
Huh?
Over 40, 41.
Yeah, I've been out 40 years. Yeah. Okay. But and maybe I'm being a little bit naive to the fact that the schools are sending you home or sending the kids home with lists of things to go buy. I just think that's you're already taking my tax dollars because this is, you know, we can call it whatever we want to, but it's still public school. We can call it charter if you want to or whatever, but it's still public school. But I'm thinking to myself, what are we spending money on? If we got to send our kids home with a list, and y'all so nice, y'all so good, y'all go stand in Walmart and go pick up all the items. The crayons, the tissues, the sanitary wipes, the pens, the paper, the notebooks. And y'all come back and y'all give them your kids' stuff to hold. And that includes, you know, sanitary wipes, tissue, even spray for them.
Which is needed.
But you would think that these products would already be at the school. Ain't that what I'm paying for?
Unfortunately, these days, it's not.
That's what I'm paying for.
Yeah.
Ain't unfortunate, but that's what I'm paying for. That's what my money is supposed to be spent on. Resources. And I'm trying to figure out, when did this change that you now have to go shop at Walmart? You now have to go shop to get Microban so that your child will be
safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when did we have to now start getting soap?
That was when I was in school.
Well, you ain't that old.
But I'm saying when I was in school, the teachers already had that. We didn't have to.
Yeah, they already had it.
Yeah, right.
So I'm trying to figure out, when did we reverse the tide? That child and a parent, that's on your list of things to get.
I was done, but I do remember in elementary, we had to buy at least one or two of those things, but the teachers had everything else. But now it's totally different now.
Well, there's more.
Wow.
There is more. To all the private Catholic schools. Hell, I don't have no more children. Thank you, Jesus. I don't want no more. I think they're beautiful. I really do. But the best child that I can have right now is one that I can give back. Here you go. There you go.
I don't have no. I got a pit bull. Does that count?
No. I love children. Don't get me wrong. But I don't want no more. I don't want no more. Them days for me are over with. But somebody see me with a little baby these days, they're going to be like, oh, look at little so-and-so with a granddaddy. Like, what? Yeah, look at Jade. Jade, that's your grandbaby? No, that's not my grandbaby. Who is that? That's my daughter. Oh. So, one of the things that I just saw that makes me bring this point up, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe y'all used to this. I could never get used to it because I thought that's what my tax dollars paid for. For my Catholic schools. Somebody tell me why there has to be a certain type of shirt, blouse, a certain type of shoe. But that's the uniform, G. Hold on. That ain't all. And I can only get that shirt or that pair of pants or that shoe at one store.
Yeah.
And as I get that pair of pants or I get that shirt, blouse, whatever you want to do it, sweater, and that pair of shoes, and you take it to the register, and you're standing there saying, I get my daughter this, I get her 2 blouses, I get her 2 shirts, I get my son 2 shirts, got the logo on it, da-da-da-da. And when they ring you up, anybody going to Catholic school, children going to Catholic school, you had to buy them daggone uniforms? You went shopping at a Men's Warehouse. I'll never forget when my child went to AOL. My child went to AOL, Academy of Our Lady. I had culture shock when I went to go get her uniforms. I only got her like 2 shirts and 2 pair of pants, and
Right.
that lady rang that stuff up at the store. And I was like, "Excuse me, did you mean $32, not $300?"
Yeah.
Uniforms,
Yeah.
$200 and $300.
Yep.
And I was like, well, for what?
I came in
For a pair of pants?
right when they started, because I went to public school. So right when they started, eliminating us wearing our regular, what they call street clothes, it was about that too. Even for going to public school, we had to buy the shirts with the emblem on them. We had to buy the khaki pants, and we had to buy the windbreakers and all this. And so, not much has changed.
Well, for seniors, they had to not only buy the
In the class ring too, when we graduated.
Had to buy the class ring. Well, they had to buy the class ring, but my daughter wanted her class ring, so she got a class ring. Then she and then they get you with you need to get the blue sweaters
And
to let everybody know that you're a senior.
if she's a senior, you got to do the senior trip, all that jazz.
Bruh.
Yeah.
I was tired of holding on to that pole. I was like, my show on Bourbon Street was not any good. And then the loan itself was through a bank, and mine was through Gulf. What's the name of it? Gulf South.
Did y'all have to go through a certain bank?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, $900 a month.
Wow.
I was like, next time, just bend me across the table.
That's
Just bend me across the table.
well, you know what? That's right, because my little sister went to not Cabrini,
Was what?
not Cabrini, but she went to private school. I can't think of the name of it, but so it was the same thing.
It was expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
And then I got the folks calling me and telling me, gee, why your daughter going to private school, man? You doing double taxes. You already paying for a public school. Da 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 da. You send her to private school, but you paying. I sent my daughter to the school that she wanted to go to. And not everybody can do that. I was fortunate enough to be able to do that. And I don't mean no disrespect to anybody, but if your child says, I want to go to this school, and look, I'm that dad that whatever my daughter wanted to do, I was there right beside her. And I saw her face. I saw how comfortable she was. And this is the school that she wanted to go to. She had 2 or 3 schools that she had picked, but the one that she picked was that one. So my child wanted to go to that school. I was able to pay for it. Guess what this dad was? Because I got a girl dad. My daughter loved me to death. Sometimes it make her mama jealous.
Mm-hmm.
But I was there. She was gonna be there. She wanted to go there, and she was going. They accepted her, and she graduated from there. So that was it.
She going to college?
Graduated already.
Oh,
My daughter's about to get ready to be 27 years old in January.
Okay. Yeah, my sister's 21, so
My oldest is
she's
30.
on her way.
You know,
All right.
so
So
I've
you,
already been through that.
so you're an OG.
Huh?
You OG.
I don't know about OG, but I'm just old. I'm just old, right? But I also went through when they were younger, all of that. Go to the store and buy this. You need your sanitary wipes. You need to buy some Lysol. I'm like, for what? And then what really got me was the fact that I had bought all that stuff, and by chance, I like to stop by and visit the class. And I could see them using the stuff that I bought for my child.
So you was one of those parents that
Pop up on your ass.
Pop up.
Hey, what's up? What's going on? Why y'all using her stuff to clean up somebody else's mess? Mm-hmm. Oh, sir, we just picked up. No. I need the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know how much this stuff costs?
They didn't have one.
Huh?
They didn't have an answer.
No, they were just picking stuff up, using it.
Yeah.
But I could tell they were using it because they had her name on it. Mm-hmm. So your supply list is supposed to be specifically for that child because everybody's supposed to have one. And then they had the audacity to tell me to go back and go get some more when she ran out. I was like, you bastards. What's wrong with y'all? So I just thought at some point in time, somebody need to have that conversation because I would think, and I thought that's what our tax dollars go to make sure that they had the resources, they had the information, that they had everything that they're supposed to have for that school year. And evidently, it's not. It's not that way. It is not. So it was interesting to read some of those articles and then see the comments of the parents who were complaining, especially now with everything going up, because a lot of the stuff that they're telling them to go buy costs a little bit more now.
Oh, most definitely.
So
I remember back in the days we could go to Office Depot and get a 500 pack of pencils for $1.
How many?
500 pack.
Oh, really?
Of pencils for $1. I wonder how much that is now.
Well, I was that dad with the list that stood in the aisle with all the women in Walmart. Excuse me. No, excuse me. Excuse me, sir. No, ma'am, excuse me. Excuse me. I was excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Just trying to get all the information and trying to get all. And look, it was good, but it wasn't good. Because I could ask the ladies, what this mean? Because some of that I didn't know. What this mean? And they would answer it for me, too. And they would. All right, we got to take a break. We'll take the break here. We'll come back. We'll have some more conversation about this in just a few minutes, y'all. Everybody hold tight. There's more coming up in a minute right here on WBOK. Real issues, real talk, real solutions. Miss an episode of The Reality Check? You can catch every episode anytime. Search WBOK Media on your favorite podcast app to tap the bold commentary, real-time reactions, and powerful perspectives from the people and leaders shaping our city. Download, share, and rate it 5 stars because the real ones always stay informed.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
Hey, New Orleans, look for important changes to your natural gas service. This summer, Delta Utilities takes over for Entergy Gas with a Louisiana-born, Louisiana-based approach to safe, clean, reliable natural gas. No interruptions or rate changes due to the transition, just dependable service and modernized technology to keep you running smoothly. Get to know us at deltautilities.com and stay tuned for more later this summer. Delta Utilities, focused on natural gas, committed to New Orleans.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
From the East Bank to the West Bank, WBOK is what New Orleans is talking about. WBOK.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. My number 504-582-9422. What you say, Mr. Elmore?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Good, and yourself?
Yeah, I noticed this, like a lot of stores that I've been purchasing items, and gradually I've been noticing how everything's been going up, and a lot has to do with the tariffs. But the thing with bothers me is that you hear the president saying one thing, and then you list the economists. I mean, people that's been in government a long time, or government and the private sector, the professors at universities, they basically saying the consumers is paying for that. So why is he lying like that?
What you talking about?
I said the tariffs. What I'm talking about, the tariffs. And I notice every time I go to stores, little by little, things are going up. But I'm saying the president telling the American people, leading economists from major universities, Harvard, and what, they're basically saying the people we're gonna be paying for those tariffs. So, I mean, it's amazing how some people don't know and some people do know. I mean, I gotta believe what these professors are saying. There's no reason for them to lie too. But little by little, a lot of things is going up because of the tariffs. So really, he's treating American working class people. Rich people probably don't care.
So we already are paying for higher prices. I think a lot of us don't understand how high they're going to go. So 30% more here, 20% more there. Have you looked at the price of gas?
It was two. Yeah,
if you remember, gas was at $2.40, $2.50. Average price for gas now is like what, $2.75, $2.69, $2.74, somewhere in that area. For low grade, or higher for upper grades. So the price of gas has gone up. I don't know if you start looking at cars. Look at the price of cars. Cars going up. Hell, a car costs more than some houses now. As far as the notes are concerned.
But you know what is confusing to people, I guess, when you hear someone say things. Sometimes, okay, like I've heard the president say, him say, well, we need to buy American, and that's why manufacturing jobs need to be in the United States. But what is that telling American people? I mean, Gerard, a lot of companies went overseas because they used that cheap labor, and they wouldn't pay, and then what it was, Arrow shirts, if you can remember, used to be in the United States. Then Indonesia, Vietnam manufacture shirts, name brand shirts, and we buy it from Vietnam. You don't think they're cheaper because you buy it from Vietnam? We're still paying top line prices for those shirts, even though they made from Kuwait and Vietnam and Cambodia and everywhere else. So the man is lying. He's constantly lying. I mean, professional liar. And maybe I guess with him, I think what's so sad about Trump, he lies over and over 24/7. I guess he feels if I keep on lying to American people, they're gonna believe me.
If I don't want somebody to know something, I ain't gonna talk about it. Or I'm gonna change the whole function. Or I'm going to, tell you that that's not true. Give you some misinformation. The misinformation to me is just as strong as the right information in today's society. So I don't know what to tell you on that, except that, there's somebody else's side, there's your side, and in the middle is supposed to be the truth.
Well, if you listen to what I say, and I think I'm very clear with what I say. I don't try to be Mr. Know-it-all, but I give you an opinion. But I try to get the closer opinions what the truth is. Now, when I listened to you and Yemi last week, and there was some media and how the internet, how people reading wrong information, I told you very specifically. I said I listen to you quite often, very much you on the same too, on your opinion. And I listen to other people too. I just don't listen to one group of folk. You ain't the only person I listen to, but primarily I like to listen to you more than everybody I listen to. But that's why you have to do your homework and form a professional, honest opinion about what you think is right. And just because you think it's right, I may think it's right, may be wrong. Look, what I think may be right, you might think it's wrong. But I mean, you try to get an honest assessment on the world today, as you know it. That's why I listen to shortwave radio. I'll go do some research on something. That's why when I talk to you, if you notice, I don't come half-cocked. I try to give good information based on opinion and close to what is reality, not emotionally just taken off the top of my butt.
I just think that most people, and what you hear as far as news is concerned, make an opinion, then make it an opinion, and that they make an opinion, they move on, leaving you hanging in what's right and what's wrong. Opinions don't give you the information. Opinions give you a thought.
Give you a thought. That's right.
So an opinion doesn't tell you what's wrong or what's right. An opinion tells you what somebody thinks.
Yes.
And then a lot of folks that are supposed to be in this, I got a lot of news people that got mad at me because of what I said. I had a lot of them calling me up, telling me how dare I say stuff like that, but it's the truth. Some of these folks that call themselves independent news gatherers or investigative reporters, they ain't investigated a damn thing in their life. They just got a title at a television station. That's it. And you can tell it.
Yeah. I do.
So, what am I supposed to do? I'm just looking around and saying to myself, those folks that are supposed to be investigating, tell me the resources that you're using. Did you call somebody? Exactly. Did you find out? Or did somebody give you a tip? Did a manila folder end up sneaking up on you and somebody handed it to you? What happened?
Right.
Nobody wants to go through that. So
No.
But no matter how you look at it, no matter if they give you the information or not, did you follow through?
Right.
And if you didn't, why not?
Well, if you remember, I mean, well, think about what you just said. Now, I'm old enough to remember. I was in the military at that particular time when Watergate was a pure PITCH, and Woodward and Bernstein, world-class reporters.
Everybody can spell, right?
The newspaper. Big chiefs at the time. They was afraid for them to publish that information. I mean, they went all of their way. They made sure they crossed every I and T.
So let me ask you a question. If I hadn't put on the air about Gina Montana, talking about her production company not being used for Essence, would there be any conversation? Would anybody know? If I would have not said something about not only Gina Montana, what about Gina Charbonnet? Her company no longer being used for Essence. That was a follow-up to give you insight on why we see the changes happening with a program that's supposed to be reoccurring every year, that in most minds of folks, it's not the same, and they didn't appreciate it from the sense of it's coming here. What did it do? Who did it help? How much money was being made? Nobody could tell us any difference. But if that conversation piece was allowed to be put out here to other news agencies that don't have the general public meaning us. We are the general public. If it didn't have the, I guess, the general public interested in it, then they're not going to tell it. But we interested in it. That just lets me know they're not telling news for us.
Well, that's why I say it more and more and more all the time. That's why I appreciate you, brother, because you do give us information that a lot of times, more than one time or the other, you give information that I never heard. So that's why I give you the kudos that I give you, because you do give real good information. I mean, you do your research.
But that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, well, no, you saying it, but not everybody does that. So that's a credit to you, the calling, if you will. I'll give you another kudos. The calling is being a good journalist, a good person that does research, good newspaper guy, radio guy, that a lot of people don't even tell you, don't want you to know. So that's why you're going to have people that's going to question you, because the truth is very powerful when you don't necessarily want people to know a certain thing that's going down. You know what I mean, bro?
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate you, brother. More than I want to thank you,
Cool. Very good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Yes, I appreciate you, brother.
Right,
thank you, brother.
So I stand by that. You know, we talk about stories that I don't think anybody else is going to do. We talk about stories, to me, nobody's going to bring up. Why? Because they're geared to us? Y'all ever thought about that? Because they're geared to us. Is it important? Or no? Makes you go, But I do think that, you know, if somebody else doesn't talk about it, then it's our duty to talk about it. And we'll do it every single time. That's just what we do. All right, we'll get you ready for the 5 o'clock hour. It is hot as the devil. Fish grease. Something out there.
Giraffe?
Yeah, giraffe ass?
No,
yeah.
The other one.
I don't know. Turn around, boy. Turn around. Well, coming up, news is next, right here on WBOK.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Deion Sanders revealed he secretly battled bladder cancer, keeping it from his sons Shador and Shiloh to avoid distracting their NFL dreams.
My sons to this day don't know what transpired. I just told them something with my foot, again, because I wanted them to focus on making the team and not focused on dad.
After treatment and surgery, he's now cancer-free and plans to coach in 2025, thanking his family, doctors, and God. Singer Ciara recently received official citizenship from the West African nation of Benin. The ceremony, attended by government officials, was part of her visit to explore the country's cultural history and her ancestral roots. And former Georgia Deputy Ryan Beagle was sentenced to 16 months in federal prison for using excessive force against Jarrett Hobbs, a black man beaten in a jail cell. 2 other deputies also face charges. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. 504-582-9422 is my number. Y'all, I was looking at something and I was trying to find if this information was true, and it was confirmed. So, it looks like there's going to be another tiff, if that's what we can call it, between the mayor, Sidney Torres, and Troy. Hmm. Hmm. The question is, will they back down off of this company, Ivy Waste, to be able to do their job? I understand why he's trying to keep it now. I understand why. Not only is he trying to keep it because it's like what that much money and you getting paid to do it every day. But I also think you're trying to keep your employees. Did you all know, and has anybody demanded did anybody demand to know how much these lawsuits are costing you? Every time the city council goes to court or the city goes to court, that's your tax dollars paying for that. And did you realize it? Because what I'm counting so far is that the city council, and maybe y'all need to ask the president of the city council on Thursday, ask him how many lawsuits has city council lost? Not won, but lost. Because what I'm counting is 8. 8 in a row. Count with me, like the lady said. 1, 2. Here go the 1 right here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We lost 8 in a row? Because y'all defending the trash contractor? You gonna mess around, boy, and make this mayor mad, and she gonna take your other ones. But I had put my request in for the city of Kenner to have a interview with the mayor of Kenner. Because he had some pretty bad things to say about Ivy Waste. One was, he said that Torres is a plague on his city. And where's the $5 million that he stole? He's supposed to be under investigation. You got Kenner employees that are indicted over relationship with garbage contractor. $1 million is unaccounted for. We got some issues with a judge in Sidney Torres. And that's not including your other business before you sold it. So what we supposed to do? Who we supposed to believe? And we saw the comments on Fox Business. What you say, Alvin?
What'd you say there, G?
What's going on with you?
Oh, no, another day trying to get it out there. And good evening to our WBOK family, and of course, them fly-by listeners, and then now these new folks who taking what we saying, then making a news story out of it, but putting some other stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, G, because at the end of the day, it's like, bro, to be honest, bro, me, my people, and I know us, it's like we tired of hearing about something that's so cut and dry, and then you get on the news, and then, because I was looking at the noon news today, and one of the comments the lady said, well, you're going to have two contractors out there, so who going to foot the bill? So the lady from the first quarter was like, well, what we got to plan is we're going to get the state.
Go send it to the city council.
Yeah, we're going to get the state to come in, and we got an idea the state going to get some of those money from the state and blah, 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 because that's what the people want. And it's like, regardless, before we get to even all that, let's go back to what they want. With all due respect, who cares what y'all want?
Right.
Don't give a flying saucer what y'all want. You know why?
Uh-huh.
Because this wasn't a want situation. This was a bid.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what keep upset me, G, because it's like, y'all, they putting stuff out there and you're not putting the whole information out there. It's a bid. He lost the bid. He came in as an emergency contractor until the person who won the bid got their stuff together, because in the beginning they had some issues, and then you come back on the back end and talk all this stuff about how the man ain't got his stuff together. No, bro, you talking about some old stuff, putting it in the new like it's just going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the sad part about it, because folks like us, we understand this, and the reason why I get so adamant about it, geez, because I had a company, I used to work for a company, and we went out of business for that same type of deal because somebody said that this one knew the other one, and they must have been on some underhanded deal. It was no underhanded deal because it was a bid process. The bids were open in public.
Right.
So if a bid is open in public where everybody in this room is opening a bid, how can you say that the other one got? Come on, man.
I just don't understand where this. I do understand where it's coming from, but I'm just waiting for somebody else to say it besides me, because it looks like to me it's coming from one of the contractors.
Period. Just like when a certain, I ain't gonna name no names, but back in the day, you probably don't remember, but again, I was part of these processes back then. That's why I be so adamant when we say contract, I'm in on that, because I was in on some deals where I was part of the negotiation and part of putting these bids together for them to win. And I remember a contractor for the airport won the bid that we were included in. The other contractor came in and put in, like they legally do, contest the contract. But one of the things that they said that they were contesting, because the people who we were putting in the bid with, they were saying that they didn't have a DBE. And it's like, excuse me.
Ain't that supposed to be a part of the bid?
Yeah, and it's like, didn't you not see who we look like? Do you not know what we look like? So when the airport went back and rebid the contract, guess who got the contract? The one who contested the contract.
Yep.
Come on, man. Y'all, and it's like, gee, it's like, how y'all keep, and I ain't going to say y'all, but it's just, how does some of us keep standing by? Because, like you said, it's only 300 or 400 of us that can say something, but when the rest of us are going to stand up and be like, oh, you know what? Instead of, but y'all, what y'all getting out of the deal, with all this other stuff, if fact is a fact, no matter what it is, even if it's coming from somebody you don't like, it's still a fact.
Well, it was
And
interesting to me that lady stood up in front of the news cameras today and did not pause nor hesitate to say that this is going to cost the French Quarter market folks somewhere between $300,000 to $400,000 a month, and they were going to get the city or the state to pay for it.
Exactly.
I was like, where they gonna get the money from? Y'all doing but double contracts now? $300,000 to $400,000 a month.
Thank you.
Can you imagine what we could get done if we had $300,000 to $400,000 a month to be able to pay for some of these kids, be able to pay for lunches, be able to pay for their schooling, be able to pay for swimming?
How about this?
Forget what Big Duck said. Big Duck said one time before, he said, there's no reason in the world that any child that goes to school in the city of New Orleans does not know
should
how
not
to
have
swim.
a uniform. Period.
They
or
need
not
to
have a uniform, anything like that.
Library card, and they need to know how to swim.
Or how about this, G? How about let's just keep it 100 and keep a spade a spade? Can we get the second pickup?
You asking for a whole lot.
Can we just get the second pickup? You know what I mean? And it's like, so proceed, and let's discuss what was said. Because, well, now we want them to come in so now they can keep the contract to the end of the year like it was originally planned. Yeah, it was originally planned to the end of the year if there was an issue like the law states that they keep forgetting, French Quarter Committee, that the law states that if there's not a valid contract in place, that's why you have this stopgap measure. That's why you have this emergency contractor. The contract is in place now. Stop playing the games, bruh.
They playing
with
games.
With the new dynamic duo and the Wonder Twins trying to come up in here, because if I think, and I hope I'm wrong, but I think if a certain person get in the B mail, watch this other certain person be a part of that staff or be a part of something else in that position that office.
I do think that there is a need for a second pickup for the remainder of the city, because even in my case, I have nothing to do with trash pickup at all, but I do know that we have one pickup, and when we pick up once a week. The folks that live in my apartment complex, they trying to beat each other to the garbage can after they pick up because they know that the garbage can is going to be filled up again. And we got to wait again for another pickup.
Mm-hmm. But it's just like it's so many games being played, like you just said earlier, and how we talked about once before on this program about all this misinformation and lies going on, because you can tell a lie so long till somebody believe it and think that's the truth. And it's like, and then you got other folks that's trying to tell you the truth, and you looking at us like we don't know what we talking about.
Right.
Really?
It's like they don't care.
Okay. Yeah, they don't. And to me, that's what I think it is, G. They don't care. Because, again, at the end of the day, French Quarter Commission and Batman, or not Batman, but Wonder Woman and Thor, what y'all don't understand is the contract is let, and y'all don't have the authority or the charter rule to say that y'all can come in and do something about an executive contract that the mayor put in place.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all done lost 8 times. But you see, Judge, and that's what I think and again, and I know about these kind of things because I've been a part of these type of situations. And here it is again, y'all got somebody in line and y'all have somebody that y'all fighting that by the grace of God and because he do good business, he has the money to keep fighting with y'all.
Yeah.
Because again, I have a part of a company and was part of another situation where we didn't have enough money to fight, and the judge told us in a private meeting they're just gonna wait y'all out. They got more money than y'all. I hope y'all ready for that.
We're gonna see.
This is sad,
I know this is
bro.
a multi-millionaire, but I think a lot of folks don't understand. Troy ain't no slouch either.
Period. And that's why I'm glad. And that's why I voted for him the first time and all the time he was going for mayor. Because these are the type of business people-minded people that we need in the administration. Now people just want to come in like we've been doing stuff with this one and that one, or your political ally, your political favor. Man, it's a public bid. That's illegal. That's nepotism at its finest right now.
Yep.
But hey, we don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? We just mad, angry black people at WBOK, but we mad, angry with facts.
Y'all just angry.
Talk to you later, man.
All right, brother.
All right.
Hey, Miss Matthews. Miss Matthews?
Oh, hey, Gerard, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Look, it infuriates me because I'm saying they got, okay, you done had a court decision, and they can keep wasting our money going to court to keep losing, but yet at the same time, all this money they're wasting, look at all the people that the city owe back settlements to, where these people have won judgments and they won't pay them.
Mm-hmm.
That money that you're wasting on going to court, pay some of those back judgments off. And I say, and it's really sad that we have people who supposed to represent us, the city, the city council people, who keep going along with bad decisions. And I'm saying I'm almost ready to I feel like we need to have a citizen protest. We need to get out there and march around City Hall and say, why y'all keep wasting our money? And also for the people in the French Quarter, why the hell do they have to keep catering to the French Quarter? New Orleans is more than the French Quarter. I said, why is it everything the French Quarter wants, they can get, but all the rest of us, we paying just as much taxes we live here, and it's like no consideration is being given to what the public wants. I say, and I'm sick of this man Torres. He's been influencing elections or decisions for years.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, and what they don't, I know I haven't forgotten when he first started off, he got a lot of bad reviews. You know, I say, it just makes you sick that just because a person have money, they don't feel like they have to follow the law. If Henry won the contract, then he should be doing the work. And if just because you don't like the mayor, you don't change the rules in the middle of the game.
Nope. You can't.
If every other mayor was able to sign off on the contracts, you know, to me it is nothing but like a power grab, you know, and it's just so sickening. I say, because it's so unprofessional. You know, to me, they make our city look so unprofessional. Then when the state get involved, that's even worse, you know?
Right.
Because guess what? Baton Rouge, to me, why you dealing in New Orleans problems when Baton Rouge got plenty of problems that they need to be dealing with?
I just think they're messing up the home rule charter. Something that this
Oh,
city
they-
has lived
yeah.
on for years. And if it gets to the point where they go the opposite way, then we have destroyed what we're supposed to be living on forever and a day, which makes us independent from the rest of the state. We got a home rule charter, and
Right.
it's to protect stuff, protect you and me from stuff like what we're seeing right now. And
Right.
instead of
That's
what they
okay.
calling trying to be gangster or trying to make things their way.
But
This
they're being,
is
look, they're being
this is
gangster off of our money. They're not paying. We, like
Right.
you said, we gonna have to.
right. This
What's
is
the
very
deal for all
Trump-like
of
to
this?
me. This is very Trump-like. So,
Yes, that's what it reminds you of.
yep.
And that's, you know, it's just sad, and it does. It's not that people are not noticing it, but a lot of times the citizens don't know what to do. But it infuriates me because I think about all those people who've been waiting for the city to pay judgments. Some of this money they wasting could be used to pay off some of those judgments. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I say it's disgusting. But it's not that people aren't noticing. It's just that sometimes people just don't know what to do.
Yep.
Because the people who's supposed to be representing us, they don't represent us. It's more about a game of who I like, you know, and who I'm gonna side with. And to me, that's sad because they're supposed to be thinking about what's best for the interests of the city, and not just the French Quarter. Because New Orleans is not just the French Quarter, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's all I have to say.
I got you. Thank you, Ms. Matthews.
I-
Appreciate you, dear.
All right, sweetie.
All right.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, we'll take the break. Let's go ahead on and take the break here. We'll take the break. We'll come back. We'll have some more conversation with you in just a minute. Everybody hold tight. It's Monday, y'all. The number is 504-582-9422. There's more coming up.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Ariel Investments founder and co-CEO John Rogers says he's starting to notice more action in deal making.
When you look and see the reports from some of the large investment bankers like Goldman Sachs, they're saying they're really feeling that CEOs are starting to feel really comfortable looking for new transactions, looking for ways to add value for shareholders. It's a completely new environment. And it was the exact opposite. 2 years ago, you would talk to a CEO and they would just tell you, we can't do anything. None of these deals will ever get approved by the FTC or get through the government. It's just a complete sea change.
That's Rogers speaking to Bloomberg at an event in Chicago. The optimism for mergers and acquisitions is a big turnaround from the Biden administration. Ariel Investments has over $13 billion in assets under management and prides itself on being one of the largest and most prominent black-run firms on Wall Street. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Pro Savings Days are back at Lowe's. Right now, get a 4-piece GE kitchen suite for under $2,000. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt Max XR 8-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. Save big with deals that work as hard as you do. Shop Pro Savings Days in-store or online today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 8/1. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Seems like back to school happens earlier each year.
First day of school coming in hot.
And this year, my kids had massive supply lists.
Folders, notebooks, and pens. Oh, the humanity.
But Staples had everything I needed, with some items just 25 cents.
Watch the small print.
No. My back to school budget was saved by Staples Easy Button.
Everything for school, in stock and as low as 25 cents. Staples.
That was easy.
In store, online, and on the app. In St. 23 while supplies last.
Didn't catch this morning's conversation? No worries. The Good Morning Show is now a podcast on all your favorite apps. Just search WBOK Media, find The Good Morning Show, and make it part of your daily routine. Download it, share it, and rate it 5 stars. Start your day with something real.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
Got unpaid parking or camera tickets in New Orleans? Here's some good news. Through August 31st, you can take care of them without paying late fees. That's money back in your pocket. Just go to NOLA.gov/no late fees to see what you owe. You can pay all at once or sign up for a payment plan and break it into monthly payments at no extra cost. That's NOLA.gov/no late fees. NOLA.gov/no late fees. Don't miss out. This offer ends August 31st.
Hello, I'm Gary Clark. Please tune in to Dr. Clark 101, The Living Classroom, which is broadcasted weekly every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. on WBOK 12:30 a.m. on your dial. And as always, it's been a pleasure.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 12:30 a.m. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 12:30 a.m.
All right, folks, welcome back. We got more coming up in what's today? Day Monday, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So, Don, what you got?
Hey, good afternoon.
How you doing, sir?
Everything is okay. Y'all was talking about the garbage contracts and all of this, and I'm just as surprised as anybody about this French Quarter, commission and all, and they're talking about the city not having everything set up, and we've talked about it over the last couple of weeks that the man already has everything in place and is ready to go, and they make it sound as though he's not ready, and they don't have the vehicles or the equipment to do things, and Gerard, it just I'm just at a point now where I just wonder how this city's gonna survive over the next few years, man. Everything has gotten so expensive, and as Mr. Carl Gamble would always talk about, he says, "Man, where's all this money going that the city's supposed to be pulling in?" Every time I think about, they talked about the Super Bowl and the Mardi Gras, I think bringing in like $1 billion into the city. And, when I look at New Orleans East, and I'm saying to myself, I said, well, where's all the money? Who's getting the money? Is it just the people that own these different businesses and all of these folks that don't have anything to do with the city itself? They talk about how much taxes and all is derived from all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I look at it, I say, well, why don't you designate some of this money that's coming in from these different festivals and all? We got 100 festivals, it seems, that the city partakes in. Why don't they put some of this money towards, building our streets back up?
I agree.
Every time I think about it, man, ever since, Katrina, we've been in the same situation here in the East. And look like when are things going to change? I mean, no matter who we get on the council, they don't really think about turning things towards New Orleans East. I was super surprised that Troy Henry was able to win thing for the to put the stuff out here in the East, that's gonna, I guess, comprise the movie theater and a studio and the different things that this thing is gonna develop into. But it seems even then they seem to put things in place to put a halt to a lot of stuff. It was the Corps of Engineers. It was, the city itself that talked about how he had to do so many different things in order for them to give him the okay, just to start, clearing out the land and all. And it seems to be one thing after another here with our city where, I go back to, when I first moved here and Dutch Memorial got into office. And when he talked about putting that tax on people that came and worked into the city, that should have been the thing that put our city over the top. We'd be like New York, where people that come into work paid that little fee, and we were able to get the city, the streets paved. We had so many different things. The sewage and water board would be taken care of, over the years. And we're talking about, 40 plus years now ago when he talked about doing this. And, the city, and I don't know how they convinced people here in the city that wasn't a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was just caught off guard that I'd been out of college for a while, and I just knew that we were going to have things in place with that edict that Dutch Memorial came up with. And I thought that was one of the best things that could have happened to the city. And boy, when they shot that thing down, they made sure that the city would never bring that up again, because they went to the legislature and said, hey, you got to go through the legislature to have something like that talked about. So, it was just one thing after another to keep this city down. And it just seemed that a handful of people that were the, people we talked about, the people in the shadow government that, had everything to going the way they wanted. And, man, they're at a point now where they want to take these things back. And I think, as Troy Henry said, if Barbie gets in there, I think things are going to go right back to where it used to be, where the state will get involved with a lot of things that are going on.
Mm-hmm.
You talked a week or so ago about the sewage and water board, how the state's looking at putting some things in place where they're going to have a private entity probably take over. I mean, it's just one bad thing after another that this city is facing. And unless, people find out that, you need to get your fellow citizens to say, hey, man, we got to, vote that we can get somebody in place as a mayor that's going to do good for our city instead of letting things go back to how it used to be. So, I'm just so frustrated, man, when I think about
I was getting ready
a
to
lot
say,
of things.
Don, this is the most frustrated I've heard you in years.
Oh man, and even when you brought up the thing about our police chief, the problem is that we knew when she was coming from the East Coast that it was going to be a difficult thing if she got into become the police chief, and of course the mayor decides after putting both of these people together, and decide that this is who she's going to pick. And the only reason I think that things have gone a lot better for her was that things were set in place before she got in office, before she took the position.
So
Otherwise,
I think that's something that if you go back to that story, and I give you the details of that story again, wouldn't you say, though, that even though that you're not there, that you learned your lesson and you wouldn't do anything like that again? I do see it happening over again with another police officer here.
Exactly. The same thing that she went through before.
Here we go again.
Going through again. Yeah, I said, man, and you would think that our mayor would have, and I know this lady's under pressure. I'm talking about our mayor. She's under a lot of pressure. They've been wanting to get her out since she started the second term. But, she's made so many mistakes in judgment, and every time I think about, the original garbage contractor that we had, Alvin Richards and Metro and all of them, because they voted for somebody else when she was running initially, they decide that, she's gonna take the contract from them instead of helping these people during a pandemic. She decides she wants to get somebody else and pay them twice as much money to do half of the work. And now we're stuck where we're only getting a one-time garbage pickup. Man, I can't remember how many times that the garbage is overflowing here because there's so much garbage, because, so much trash to be picked up. And all of a sudden, especially if there's some kind of event that goes on, where you have more trash than they normally do, then all of a sudden you're on a weight situation because now you got so much garbage that you can't fill it, you can't go in the can, and it just makes things so much worse for us here in the East, and I guess throughout the city since we're only getting one pickup all over the place. But man, I just can't believe that mayors are making these kind of decisions, and all it's doing is hurting the people. And I voted for her thinking that she was going to be a great mayor, first female mayor, and all of this. And of course, she went unopposed the second time. But it just seems as though she looked at the situation and decided that she didn't care. At least that's how it seems on the outside.
I'm just surprised you, and I'm gonna talk about you for a minute here. I'm surprised you that frustrated because you've been going. I mean, you've probably said more today than I've heard you say in years.
Yeah, Gerard. When I hear these different things, and I guess it's been building up because when I heard Troy last week talking about the situation with the contract and all of that.
I'm shocked. I was like, wait a minute, are you shocked about the issue?
Guess, like I said, it was just a pile up of different things going on. And then when you brought the thing up about our police chief, how she's going back to Spokane, how she was doing things there that, I just shake my head and say, man, how many mistakes are we going to make? And, as I said, if we decide not to go out and vote, come October, we may find ourselves back in a situation where, we got two consecutive females and one may turn out as bad as the other. So I can't say anymore. I just, like I said, I'm just so frustrated about our city and how things have been going, and I've been here, over 50 years now. And I just, knew that, I wasn't born here in the city. I was born out in New Roads, what's his name, General Honore's place. And, I just thought that things were going to be, going up, especially after we got our first black mayor. And we just thought, especially when Mark Morial was in office, that things are looking up, man. It just seems as though we thought things were going to be going great.
So, well, let me ask you this, and I hear you. I hear you, Don. I hear every word you're saying. But give me something about change. If you wanted to take all the stuff you just gave me, and you could put down your top three, what would that look like to change?
Oh wow!
I know. I know you won't think about that part. Right now, what I got from you is basically you telling me that, all this stuff done built up, it then overflowed, and I need to get it off my chest. But But what does that look like with your top three getting changed? What do you want to see? As the change agent now, I just made you the change agent.
Yeah. Well, the first thing, Gerard, I think is that we need to have people in the most important offices, which I think one of the most important is the people in City Hall that are on the City Council. We have to have people there that think about the city as a whole, even though they represent certain districts. They still need to think about the city and that if all of the city flourishes, then everybody flourishes, not just one area, and I think that needs to be a priority. That we need to get people in those council chairs that think about the city itself, not worrying about how their legacy is going to be. And we look at our president right now of city council, and
all right, that's your first, right? That's your first. Now let me give you my first.
Okay.
Because I want us to compare. My first is I want to hear that person who's going to be in charge, whether it is in the mayor's office, whether it's in the city council office, start talking to me about what we're going to do about feeding people here in this city in the next year. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because what we're going to see go away is SNAP benefits. We're going to see those go away. I mean, they already started this summer was saying that the state wasn't going to provide money for those kids that were going to summer school. So that was just, that was a trial and error. Now we're seeing that the SNAP program and benefits that come from the federal government are going to go away. But you're talking about monies and food that's going to go away from an area that is more poverty-stricken than most of the cities. Now, you're talking about the city of New Orleans. You're talking about the state of Louisiana. We depend on the federal government more so than anybody else. So since we know that, and since all of us know it, I want to hear that person is going to tell me how you're going to feed these kids. Because what you're going to see is when we start seeing kids and families that don't have, you're going to start hearing that. You're going to start hearing that that conversation of I got to get it how I can.
Right.
And then you're going to see crime go up. Then you're going to see people getting shot. Then you're going to see kids, more kids, 17 and younger, that are going to go to jail. We're getting ready to open up a Pandora's box by not fixing it before it starts, than waiting for it to happen. When it happens, it's too late.
Yeah.
We need to be having folks that are running for office that are talking to me about that now.
Yeah, and to make a point, to go along with that, the housing situation needs to be clarified. How are you going to, like you said, feeding is one thing, but where are they going to live if they can't afford the housing situation here? That is something that, definitely needs to be talked about a lot more than it is. They're talking about the homeless people now. You can have a lot of people either going to be homeless or having to leave the city because they can't afford to stay here.
So that's your number two? Is that your number two? That's your number two?
That's got to be number two, yeah. You got to take care of the housing situation because a lot of the things that are going on here in our city right now is the affordability situation. People can't afford to be here. Like you said, how are you going to work in jobs when they don't have a place to come home to? That has to that has to be a priority.
So then the other thing too. Then let me comment on my number two. So that's your number two, and I agree with you on your number two. But the person that I guess my approach is a little bit different from yours, but I agree with you. Then my approach is how many properties in the city of New Orleans, I'm not even going outside of New Orleans, just talking about New Orleans, does the city of New Orleans have that they sit down and that they try to sell or give NORA or any other agency these properties? And then how many of them could they build and put people to work, as well as get grant money, as well as get housing money to be able to build some of these properties and have a couple of agencies to teach these people how they can own them, have more than one side of a property, whether you can have the family that lives in one side of the property, just like they got on Carrollton. They're supposed to be having those properties where one person is living on the other side, owning the building and leasing out the other side for somebody else to be able to pay to live there. Then what you got is not only a person that owns its own property, you also got a person that's making some income by owning the property and the other person living on the other side paying the mortgage. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things that
We need to teach people how to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, I mean, and that's something you talked about some time ago about, using all of these different vacant homes.
Right.
And like you said, putting people in these places, and if you have to, like you said, fix them up and do whatever you have to do in order to, make these things affordable for people. And all of a sudden you solve a lot of the problems.
Right. And I got folks texting me. They're like, you need to start also putting in there, why do we have all these vacant buildings that we're just seeing are getting tagged by graffiti artists that we're not trying to put back, but are sitting there. I would even go back to go look at the hospital right there off on the other side of where is that off of? That's off of what's the name of that hospital? You know what I'm talking about. That's just sitting there.
Lindy Boggs?
The Boggs.
The Boggs.
Boggs Hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, the Boggs.
Lindy Boggs. Why we're not trying to say, let's take that from the private owner and let's start talking about we gave $20 million.
Yeah.
To Tulane.
To Tulane, right.
To build or put toward a $655 million project that's gotten probably no guarantees of when it's going to be, has gotten none of that. But I'm looking around and saying to myself, we got a problem with homelessness in here. We have a problem with elderly getting in housing. Why aren't we trying to develop and put together a group of folks that we can also put to work?
Yeah, no doubt. Well, look, Gerard, my third one is the city needs to set up a special committee to find out where the money's going. As Carl Galvin mentioned, that $72 billion that came in. What happened to that money? What happened to a lot of the monies that come in and nobody knows where it goes? At least they claimed it on.
Right.
They need to set up a committee to find out where the money goes with all of these different festivals and different events that we have.
Well, if it was you and I would get audited.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what needs to be done. The city needs to be audited to find out who took the money. Because I guarantee you it didn't go where it was supposed to go. So otherwise,
I'm looking at some of the comments here with folks that are online. They're like, yeah, well, our current council is too busy concerned with who's sleeping in a Pentalba.
Oh, yeah, right, exactly. That's what, like I said, we need to have city council people that are worried about the things that are so important that those things they don't even worry about.
Right.
The Pentalba thing and all of that, man, that's minor stuff. But the news people make it seem as though it's major. And that's what happens to the major things. It goes by the wayside because nobody talks about it.
Yep, you are correct.
Man, Gerard, I appreciate you keeping me on, and I appreciate you letting me vent.
Oh, you got it out today, boy. I was like, who this is? That ain't the Don that I know.
Hopefully, I can be more calmer next time I call you. Okay?
I appreciate you, brother. You got it out. I like
it.
Thank you, Don. Appreciate it. All right, y'all, we got to take a break. We'll take a break here. We'll come back and get you wrapped up for the final. The day show went by fast, didn't it? All right, we'll get you ready for the remaining part of this show and get you out of here. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris. President Trump says he's disappointed in Vladimir Putin and is threatening new sanctions if Russia doesn't agree to a ceasefire in Ukraine. But the world is watching another crisis deep in Gaza, where mass starvation is no longer a warning, it is here. During his meeting with Britain's new Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, at his Turnberry Golf Resort in Scotland, Trump floated a 10 to 12 day deadline for Russia, but spent little time addressing Gaza, where over 111 people, many of them children, have now died from starvation in just the last few months. After a 4-month Israeli siege, hospitals are now filled with malnourished children barely clinging to life. The UN says 1 in 3 Gazans are going multiple days without eating. Even aid trucks are being intercepted or delayed by criminal gangs in crossfire, with Israel still controlling what comes in and what doesn't. Meanwhile, Trump is on the green, watching global crisis unfold from the comfort of a Scottish estate. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
There is a heated debate nationally and internationally about whether Israel is committing genocide in Palestine in the war against the terrorist group Hamas. I have no clarity on either side of the genocide question, but I'm damn certainly clear about what is not debatable: the intentional killing and starvation of innocent women and children at the hands of Israeli soldiers. Death and hunger in Gaza, according to the World Health Organization, is a man-made disaster since Israeli forces initiated a food aid blockade. Now, don't misunderstand my critique as opposition to Israel's right to defend itself against Hamas. It was Hamas who invaded Israel some 21 months ago in a despicable, barbaric attack, murdering 1,200 Israeli citizens and taking 250 hostages. Wiping out Hamas is totally justifiable. What is not justifiable is the heartless policy employed by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to order a food blockade against the starving, homeless Palestinian refugees who have been displaced because of the war. The United Nations says more than 1,000 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli forces while seeking food aid since late May. Moreover, 2.1 million people are without ample food supply, which includes 900,000 children. Gaza officials report that some 70,000 children are already showing signs of malnutrition. There is no earthly justification under God's Son for such abysmal cruelty. Shame on Netanyahu, who continues to drag his feet on a possible ceasefire while his military leaders refuse to take accountability for the attacks at food distribution centers, insisting they only fired warning shots to keep Hamas at bay. Well, you can put me down in the I'm not convinced column on that explanation. As Big Daddy opined in the play Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, sounds like mendacity to me. Even some of Israel's closest allies are beginning to condemn what some human rights advocates are describing as using food deprivation as a weapon. While it may not be genocide, it damn sure is inhumane. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
That's right. It's party time each and every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on WBOK. It's the Throwback Throwdown with DJ Wick as he brings you the best in old school from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the early 2Ks. Plus, the party goes to another level at 9 p.m. with the Throwback Throwdown Party Mix to round out the night. It's the Throwback Throwdown Sunday nights at 7 p.m. on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month by the community scientists at Rise St. James. This month, we spotlight phthalates, chemicals added to plastics, especially PVC, to make them more flexible and durable. But there's more. Research shows phthalates may disrupt hormones, affect reproductive health, and contribute to environmental pollution impacting our communities. Join us as we explore how these additives shape our everyday lives and the world around us. For more details, visit risestjames.org. Empower your knowledge with Rise.
At New Orleans East Hospital, we believe healthcare should come with heart. Located at 5620 Reed Boulevard, we proudly serve the New Orleans community with compassion, courtesy, and a commitment to excellence. From healing to education, we want to be your trusted healthcare partner that's close to home. New Orleans East Hospital, delivering a culture of healthy care.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
From Gentilly to New Orleans East, WBOK is what New Orleans is talking about. WBOK.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, y'all, welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you. My final story today, I got to give big kudos to our Congressman, Troy Carter. Big kudos go to him because it was printed up into Vincent Sylvain's New Orleans Agenda today that Congressman Carter has announced an additional $1.5 million going to Lincoln Beach. Says today, Congressman Troy Carter, Sr., announced $1.5 million for the Lincoln Beach redevelopment project from the United States Environmental Protection Agency, which is the EPA, Lake Pontchartrain Basin Restoration Program. The city of New Orleans will use this funding for shoreline protection and beach nourishment, which will protect the natural habitats and ecosystems that have not or have taken root at the site while preparing the area for public reopening. This award was made possible by the bipartisan infrastructure law, which Congressman Carter helped craft and voted for. Through community project funding requests, Congressman Carter additionally secured $4.116, that's $4,116,279 for the Lincoln Beach Access Project in the 2024 spending bills. There's a whole lot more that goes to this story. So if you'd like to read it yourself, get a chance, go to New Orleans Agenda under Sylvain Solutions and make sure that you are preparing or giving Vincent Sylvain your email address so that he can send you the information too, and you can share it. You can share the email, whether it is by Twitter or X now, Facebook, or Instagram. So make sure that you check it out. That gives you a lot of information for you to have it. Now, on the other hand, I'm concerned. They like, oh, Lord, here come Debbie Downer. Wah, wah. Wah, 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 wah. Here comes Debbie Downer. Wah, wah. All right, I got 5 minutes before I get off the air. Why am I concerned? 504-582-9422. Why am I concerned? Wah, wah. Wah, 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 wah. Somebody call me and tell me real quick why I'm concerned. When I start looking at projects like this, why am I concerned? Wah, wah. Should I hold it? I'll hold it until you call and tell me. Just to let everybody know that I have sent another email as of today, to Mayor Michael Glasser in the city of Kenner. who is the mayor, asking him to be a guest on my show. Because I'd like to know about their trash issues. And are we going through a repeat without really having all the information? So we're going to get the information, y'all. Wah, wah. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, I'm going to stop. So go and tell it, G. Go and tell it. I'm glad you called. Why am I concerned? So I kind of gave you the gist of the information that came from the New Orleans agenda about Congressman Carter and his additional $1.5 million that's going to the Lincoln Beach project. So why are you concerned? I just hope that the folks that brought Lincoln Beach back, I know Sage and all those folks had gone out there and started cutting down all that overgrowth so that folks could go out there. And since that time, we've seen another nationality of folks go out there and try to take it over themselves and have camps out there and all this other stuff. We saw the trash that was at one of the, I guess the old areas where everybody was cleaning out and putting it in garbage bags and all that great stuff. Lincoln Beach is a historic place for a lot of folks. Let me rephrase that. A lot of black folks, meaning when you couldn't go to other places, that was your place. I can remember folks telling me about how they would get their kids and put them in a station wagon and y'all go out there and just, go to the pools and do all that other stuff. So the part that, to make a long story short, the part that worries me about this is not the fact that somebody has said, okay, cool, we're going to get the money and we're going to get this thing done. The part that worries me about this is whenever there's a lot of money involved in these types of projects, I'm hoping that all parties involved, whether you're doing the press issues, whether you're doing the community meetings, whether you are doing what you're supposed to do, make sure y'all come together before somebody try to take that money from you that don't look like you, or try to take it and then do their own project and take it from you. All right? That's all. I'll leave it at that. I hope y'all understand why I'm saying that. But anyway, that's going to work it up for me for today. I appreciate everybody for being part of the conversation. I will see y'all on tomorrow. Be good, y'all. Be careful.
Have you heard the secret of what New Orleans is talking about? I promise everything will be okay if you're listening here.